Do you forget all the words you learned the previous day? Are you unable to recall words that you memorized recently? Are you looking for ways to improve your vocabulary dramatically? Then this video is for you. A lot of my students come to me and say, "Teacher, I forget all the words that I learned. Today I memorized words, but you ask me tomorrow, I am blank. What can I do, teacher?" Well, I have a solution for that. Hello, I'm your English teacher Suresh. I'm gonna tell you 2 strategies to learn words effectively in a short span. In addition, I'll give you a bonus tip which is really easy and you will not believe the result is going to be incredible. The reason many people can't remember words they learn is they are learning it in a wrong way. What they do is to write down all the list of words they learn and try to cram up or memorize. You know the impact of this. Whatever we cram up, we forget very fast. We all did it in school, at least I did. Trust me, I don't remember most of the content I learned in school. So, what should we do? When you learn new words, you must use them in sentences. Making a story would be much better than sentences. Let's try to break it up one after the other. First, sentences. Let's suppose you learn 5 words today. They are deadline, pledge, sore, debt, and egotistical. You learn the meaning by memorizing the definition, like deadline means the last date to submit a project, assignment, or report. Pledge means to promise to do something. Sore means something goes up. Debt means the money you borrow from some people. And egotistical means someone who's proud of himself or herself or talks about himself or herself all the time. If you learn like this, sure, you will forget fast. Let's do this way. Try to make a sentence with the words. Number 1, deadline. My teacher gave 31st January as deadline to submit the project. Pledge. At the graduation ceremony, we pledge to help the poor people every month from our salary. Sore. The cases of COVID are soaring every day. Debt. I had to borrow huge amount of money for my wedding. I have a lot of debt. Egotistical. My roommate is egotistical because he talks about how great he is all the time. I'm sure you will never forget if you use a strategy like this, because you are trying to use the language practically. You are trying to apply those words in real life situations. When you learn those words in the textbook, maybe you could not relate to the people or situations in the textbook or wherever you read the words. Here, you are trying to create a situation of your own. So the chances of forgetting are very few. Now, let me tell you how to make this strategy better. You need to create a story out of the words you learn. It can be an imaginary or an incident that happened in your life. I'll explain it with an example. Imagine you learn these words today. Coincidentally, fortunately, suddenly, surprisingly, and miraculously. Instead of learning words individually, make a story using these words like this. I was walking on a street in Maldives. Coincidentally, I met my school friend there. It had been a long time since I met him. He drove a Ferrari and fortunately, he asked me to drive. We went to a club and we started dancing. Surprisingly, my girlfriend came there. After a while, suddenly the building collapsed. Miraculously, nobody was injured. That's it. I'm absolutely sure that if you use words like this, you will never forget them. The stories that you create might sound silly. Don't worry, it's just the beginning. Remember, the greatest journeys begin with a single step. These stories are to help you improve your vocabulary. We never know, this practice may make you a great writer one day. Another strategy to learn vocabulary is actually you shouldn't do something. You may ask me, what's that I shouldn't do to learn vocabulary? Well, you shouldn't learn passive vocabulary. What I mean by passive or active vocabulary, the words we seldom or rarely use are passive vocabulary. On the other hand, the words we often use are called active vocabulary. You might have noticed in all my videos, I use active vocabulary. Let me explain why you should do this, or rather shouldn't do. When you learn passive vocabulary, you spend a lot of time learning it but don't get a chance to use them in day-to-day life. Let's suppose you learn a word called convalescence. You learn the definition of it by memorizing it or by using it in a sentence. Convalescence is a time spent recovering from an illness or medical treatment. My convalescence after I got infected with COVID-19 was very brief. It's really impressive to learn vocabulary like this. However, what are the chances of remembering it for a longer time? Very few, because you don't get to listen to people talking like this. As a result, it will vanish from your memory. I'm not saying don't learn advanced vocabulary. It's great. You sound really wonderful, and if you are appearing for IELTS or TOEFL, you will get very good score. But while learning English at basic or intermediate level, it's better we focus on active vocabulary that we use every day. So what's active vocabulary exactly? They are simple words like rush, spit, junk food, swap, stir, accelerate. The word deadline, pledge, soar, and debt are active vocabulary in the first strategy, and egotistical is the passive one. So these are two simple strategies to enhance your vocabulary, which have been proven to be successful with my students. Now, as promised, I'll give you a bonus tip which I think is extremely effective. I want to ask you a question. What's one thing we use often in a day? It's our phone, of course. We look at the screen regularly. Do this one. Write down about 10 words every day and take a picture of it and save it as screen image or screensaver on your phone, so that you will look at those words whenever you see the phone screen. Try it. It really works. So that's all for today. I guess the video was helpful. If you like it, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.